Hey guys, welcome back to Bearded Lumber. Matthew and I greatly appreciate you tuning in today. We're over in our motor planer room. I promised you for a year as we was building this thing, we'd have lots and lots of videos coming out. And that's dependent on our work, you know. For like 3 weeks solid, we didn't saw. We was over here trying to catch up. And then we've been sawing for a week, and then we got some little jobs we need to run today. And that's what we're gonna do. We need about 300 board feet or square feet of T&G pine for a customer. I think it's close to 400 square feet here, so we're just gonna run it all. Whatever's extra, we'll put in our inventory to finish our ceiling. The astute viewers will notice that the ceiling has moved across here. We're working on it. We got a video, and it's been dragging out for a month and a half at least. Whenever we get a little free time, we'll work on it, and we've been boogered up. I will tell you next week, if you're anywhere in America, you know there's an Arctic blast coming. You're probably right in the middle of it right now. We may be over here in the warmth working on this ceiling. Running some tongue and groove if we need to, but I'm not looking forward to sawing it 15 degrees or less and the wind blowing. If we need to, we need to, but if we don't, we'll try to avoid it. But let's get back to today's project. Let's get through the introduction and we'll be right back. Okay guys, we're back. Appreciate you tuning in. Today's goal is to run this 8-foot white pine. We got two sizes, 4.5 and 6.5. We're gonna make finished 4-inch boards and 6-inch boards. Now we cheated before we started the camera. We got the Weining switched over to tongue and groove. We run a couple test boards. They're sitting over here. We're quite happy with them. Didn't want to bore you with them because it's just minor adjustments up and down, in and out, as far as thickness, getting it tooled up. And a lot of it depends on your wood. This wood was a little thin. It's white pine that I sawed in 1 inch, and it dried and it shrunk. It dried good. It's down to 0.92 to 0.93. So it don't leave me a lot of thickness top and bottom. So we had to really shrink how much we was taking off the first cutter to leave a little bit for the top cutter. Now, let's go here and look at, this is rough, you know, right off the sawmill, right out of the kiln dryer. Now, here's our finished boards. And not all these are two-sided perfect, especially a couple we started with. They're over here. You can see where we were taking too much off the first bottom cutter, and it wasn't leaving enough for the backside, but it's still an acceptable board. We'll keep them use them here and on our ceiling. But biggest adjustment we was making, we were chasing the center on the tongue. We had to move it in the orientation of the machine. We moved it down, but on the orientation of this being the face of the board, we basically moved the tongue up. So it's like cutting crown molding, people. If you ever done that, you got to remember which way you got it turned, which way it's going up on the wall. It can be a little brain teaser. Luckily, Matthew and I work together, and some days if I've been a little brain dumb, he can help catch up, and vice versa. So we're happy with the groove being centered, the tongue being centered, the amount we're taking off the bottom to leave enough for the top. And like I say, these run through the machine. This is face down, groove against the fence, tongue out. This is our finished face. It definitely has to be good. We're shooting to get the top face as well. We made some fine adjustments on our metal rollers. If you look, you can see they're just leaving a little mark. If we had a little more thickness, I could probably get rid of all of it, but we're skirting going from 0.92 to 0.75. So sometimes you just got to deal with it. But I'm happy with that. I think we're going to set it up and run it. It don't get no easier than white pine. This stuff is a dream to run. Now, let's talk about our motor over here. We did some upgrades and we didn't cover it. These 3 vacuum lines across the top were the same as the sides. I did 6-inch, and when we were in heavy cuts, we were having some issues of it floating, sawdust in the stream, sometimes clogging up. So we bought new elbows, new reducers, and 5-inch pipe. And these 3 that does the outboard cutter, the top cutter, and the inboard cutter, we've necked them down to 5 inches. What little bit we run it, it seems to work better. I think it raised the velocity because you shrunk the diameter on 3 pipes and it raised the velocity coming up. So we haven't run anything of great quality since we did it, so it's going to be a test to see if it's an improvement. It appears to be so far. Don't worry about the mess on the floor. Matthew found a pocket underneath one of these heads that had some old stuff in it. I can tell you it's old because it's got acorns in it. It's been in there a long time. That comes from the previous owner. So found that little pocket, blowed it all out. It was interfering with the inboard head up and down. So we're still learning, guys. We're still learning like you. We're gonna stick you on time lapse. Anything important that happens, we'll stop. But we're gonna run this through. I am overjoyed with our machine, and I'm glad y'all come along for the journey. We're at the end result now. We're making product instead of trying to get a machine ready to make product. Okay, enough talking. Anything else, Matthew? Anything we've changed since the last video? We are becoming more adept at making changes, you know, to make things better. We lowered a little bit of air pressure on some of the feed rollers, trying to not have them drive in this soft pine. Now, if we switch to a hard oak, you can turn that air pressure up a little bit because it's hard, where this pine is super soft. Enough talk. Let's get to work. Okay, guys, hope you enjoyed that. We tried to open the door and let you watch it going through the process. A whole lot safer for you than it is for us. Flying debris can't come through the camera and get you. Don't like doing that, but for your benefit, we did. We opened it up and watch it. Occasionally, I need to open it up and look at it and make sure I don't need to move the board left or right a little bit, because I got some in-feed adjustments that I can take more off the groove side as it goes through, or I can take less, and I can basically push the board out to where it's taking more off the tongue. The only time I want to take more off the groove is if you watch, I flipped every board before I put them on, and if it's got a little crown in it, I try to push that crown to the fence, and it'll be, it'll be bowed out. The bow will be facing away from the machine. And I can move that inboard cutter in a couple thousand, an eighth of an inch, and take a little more off the groove side to get it parallel and still make an acceptable tongue. Now, if it gets to more than 3/16 of a bow, you got to make a choice. If that's a narrow board, you're done. The only thing you can do is go ahead and set it to the side and edge it down to the next size that you're making and run it again. Now, if it happens to be acceptable width or a little, we got them at 6.5. If it's a 6 1/4 board, it ain't gonna clear. But if it happens to be a 6.5, 6 5/8, it can take that bow and clear it right out. It's a good place for us to stop. Like I say, we run 25 boards. I'm excited with our vacuum system. It's doing better than it was before. Didn't see any clogs, didn't see any issues. Now, we're not taking a whole lot off here, guys. These boards are thin. They're not a 5/4 board. They're not an 1/8" board. They're pretty thin, but what I'm seeing is great. Good place to stop because I run into all these 4-inch boards, need to get them out of the way. And we're going to continue running all the 6s. When we get the 6s done, we'll retool for 4, run those through. Like I say, it's a small order. It's only 291 square feet, and it won't take long to run it. But the customer is overjoyed. He's ready for it. It's going in his house. He's doing some remodeling. I find it hilarious, the stories we hear. Him trying to coerce, educate, drag his wife along to do it the way he wants to. He told me the other day he finally convinced her, because he's seen our chair rail. If you look over here behind Matthew, the bottom 4 feet is going vertical, and then everything above it is going horizontal. And he just loved that. He said, man, he talked to his wife, and she didn't like the idea. He told me he convinced her. So just funny stories we hear in the business. Guys, we appreciate you watching. We're going to drink our coffee, get this moved over, and we'll be right back. Okay guys, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed those different views. We tried at the front with the machine open, seeing it going through the cutter heads, at the rear with the machine open. I don't normally do that, but we did it for your benefit so you can see the knives doing their work. In the middle, we may or may not caught it. We had to stop and do some adjustments on one ship breaker. I didn't like where it was at. It was a little low. There's always finessing with this. What we ended up with was we needed 291 square feet with 73 boards. I got 75 good boards here. So always take care of your customers. Give them more than they expect. Give them 2 boards. Don't hurt me a bit. But if he happens to miscut one, or if there's a flaw that we didn't see, he can call it and he'll have extra. We had some misfits over here. Most of them, the board was a little narrow and it come out with a small tongue. It'll be perfectly fine. We'll use it here on our ceiling, but customers paying for top grade stuff, they're gonna get top shelf product. And we'll use this over here. Now, if I had been measuring every board, The ones that were 6 1/4, 6 3/8, I could have thrown them to the side, would have edged them at 4 1/2, and it'd have made perfect boards. Not the end of the world. We're gonna use them on our ceiling. Now, over here on this pile, what we got left is the 4 1/2 inch boards we didn't run, and 3 or 4 boards that I didn't run at 6 1/2, and I'll show you why. Okay, this first board has got some bark intrusion. I would have run it if it had been just a little bit better, but right here it would not have made an acceptable tongue or groove. So I culled that one. This one's pretty obvious why I culled it. It's got a knot that chipped out. Now, I can cut it 4 1/2 and make a good board. Same thing as the other one. This one, I don't know how that happened. It must have been a woodpecker or something. One of us driving the tractor got a fork in it. But there's 4 1/2 inches good there, so we'll fix that one and use it. And this one, I didn't cull it because of the knot. I culled it because the knot made it bow. You see, you can see it side by side. There's a lot of bow. So we'll run this into the edger, make a 4 1/2 out of it, and then we'll run the rest of it. So I'm doing more on my end than just sticking wood in, just like Matthew's doing more on his end than just catching. We're using our brains, we're looking, Matthew's visually inspecting every board to make sure it has one perfect good face, a good tongue, and a good groove. I'm taking every board and I'm flipping it to see if it's got a crown in it, and then I'm putting it on the machine accordingly to try to run it. I missed a couple because I don't measure every one, but man, we were running 3 boards. 4. We're running 4 1/2 boards every minute. I ain't got time to be checking them. As far as width, we miss a couple. If they don't make a good tongue, Matthew will cull them. We'll use them for something else. So I hope you enjoyed this video. There's a lot to unpack with this machine. We're still learning. We're making fine-tune adjustments today. Like I say, the chip breaker on the top head was down just a little bit, and then this soft white pine, it didn't want to shove under that chip breaker without spinning out on the drive wheels. So we made some small adjustments there. We lowered the air pressure on the feed rollers a little bit, try to keep them from digging in so hard in this soft wood. So it's not plug and play, people. There's a lot of finesse goes on. I said from the beginning, it's just a second career, and it is. It's like sawmilling, you need to be a professional at. Kiln drying, well, motor planing is the same way. There's a lot of learning Matthew and I do it, and we went to school, glad of it. But school's just the beginning. Now it's running it and making changes and seeing how those changes affect what we're doing. And I was happy with the last of that. It run good, didn't it? Yeah, I mean, after we adjusted that chip breaker, it just run like butter. Anything we missing, Matthew? Anything we didn't cover? Guys, there's a lot here. If you got any questions, just drop them in the comment section. We'll try to answer them. If you got a video idea that we hadn't done or something you hadn't seen, let me know. I enjoy those. It sparks my interest in, you know, we do this every day. You don't see it, but if there's something we're doing you're not seeing, let me know. As always, thanks to the people that help us out. Joe Bain at Wood Miser, big asset, guys. If you need anything associated with your Wood Miser, a mill, a blade, whatever, just somebody to talk to. You got problems, give Joe a call, he'll help you out. Weining Corporation, this is a great outfit. Their information will be in the description below. If you're interested in an industrial machine, I can't recommend them high enough. Matthew and I would love to have one of their new machines sitting here. That's a budget item, guys. That's not something you're gonna buy today and pay off tomorrow. You're gonna buy today and pay off years from now. But you get what you pay for. And we're tickled to death with our used machine. It had its headaches. We've worked through a lot of them and tickled on it. But if you need anything, Weining's an excellent tool resource, knife resource. Their in-house grinding shop is beyond compare. Also, big shout out to Matthew and Solomon doing our videos. Can't thank them enough. Check out Solomon's channel, Third Beard Fishing. That's gonna do it for today, guys. It's cold, the heat come on. Thanks for watching. We'll see you back in the mill.
Thank you for watching. Here's a video selection and a playlist suggestion. Click here to subscribe for more great content. We'll see you at the mill.